The steeplechase looks absolutely insane when you first see it. You're running a 2 or 3K, jumping barriers every lap, and somehow you're supposed to do all that without completely falling apart. I've been doing steeplechase for a few years now. I'm a 2-time All-American and a national runner-up. And I've learned that being good at the steeple isn't just about being a good distance runner. So I'm going to break down exactly how I'd race it, how to approach the barriers in the water jump. The biggest misconception about the steeplechase is that it's just a normal distance race with a few barriers thrown in. Alright, one of the things you need the most is aerobic fitness. This first one is probably the most obvious. You need to be fit. And at the end of the day, the steeple is still a distance event. Whether you're running the 2K or 3K, you still need a really strong base, because you can have perfect steeplechase technique and still be burned out halfway through the race. And one of the biggest things with the steeple is that you need enough fitness to keep running normally while also dealing with all the barriers. Every time you jump a barrier, you're disrupting your stride a little bit, so the fitter you are, the easier it is to get over the barrier, land, and immediately get back into your running rhythm. That's why I still think normal distance training is really important for steeplechasers. You shouldn't be doing workouts with barriers every day, every training session. I normally do them maybe 2 or 3 times a week when I'm in steeplechase training season, and when I'm not training for it specifically, then I just do normal distance training like 1500 and 3K. All right, the second most important thing is barrier technique. This should be pretty straightforward, but the goal isn't to jump high over the steeple, it's to just get over quickly and smoothly. Now, a lot of time people will lose a lot of momentum when they're running because they'll jump and then they'll land with 2 feet, but you actually are not supposed to do that. You're supposed to jump with one leg bent when you land, and then it just keeps your momentum going. Another really important thing is being comfortable jumping over with either leg, because chances are in a race you're not going to be able to get a perfect jump with each foot, with the foot you're most comfortable with. So it's definitely important to train with both of your legs. And I think it's a good idea to train when you're already fatigued for steeplechase. Like, say you just did a workout, maybe do some strides at the end where you're jumping over barriers, or after an easy run, do it. So you're naturally fatigued, just like you would be at the end of a race. All right, the third thing is the water jump, which a lot of people mess up. I don't know why. I mean, I've always thought it was the easiest and most fun part of the entire race. When you run it, you want to land on the barrier and you want to jump fully. The goal is to get fully out of the water pit and not have to land in it at all. But normally I would land with 1 foot in it, because pretty easy to exhaust yourself if you're jumping fully over every time. And I also just like the water kind of cools me off when I'm running, especially if it's hot. And to train for it, I know almost no one has a water pit available to them, so it's definitely useful to get a steeple. I would not recommend using hurdle. I actually have a real steeple my coach built, but getting a steeple and then putting it in front of a sand pit, like for long jump or triple jump, put it up the edge of that, and then practice jumping over that into the sand pit, because it's going to save your knees from damage. The fourth thing is speed, which I'm pretty decent at speed, but I definitely can improve there a lot. And the main thing to take away from this is, especially the last lap, everyone is tired, and this is the easiest way to PR or catch people, is just having a really good last kick. Speaking from experience, about a year ago, so 2025 Junior Olympics, I ended up getting 5th, and I was in probably around 7th place, and I was able to outkick 2 kids that were in front of me, and I was able to get 5th. So definitely work on the speed work. And the last thing I would say that's really important is your rhythm. Like, you have a steeple every about 80 meters, so you're going to want to be able to be really consistent with how you're jumping over them. I see a lot of people stutter step going into it, or have to use their hands because they're so exhausted, which, if you're this far, you probably have heard the other tips, so you know what to do for that somewhat. And you got to be able to get back into your rhythm, but after you finish a jump, you really don't want to jump and land on 2 feet. That'll kill all your momentum and your speed and make you way more tired. So make sure when you're finishing your jump, you're actually speeding back up, because a lot of time after your jump, you'll think you're going your real pace, but you're actually not. You're going a lot slower than it because you had stopped. So make sure you're building your pace back up to where you're actually were at. For racing strategy, I would say one of the most important things you can do is not get out too fast. A lot of guys will go and they'll fully sprint the beginning because they believe that they're in shape. So I wouldn't really go out fast unless you know that you actually can sustain it. I like to go out fast and lead. I mean, I don't win. I mean, I was a national runner-up, so I didn't win, but I definitely think it gave me a big advantage and helped me become second. I do think that for most people, including myself, I probably should more. It's better to go out a little bit more conservative, and then in the last kilometer or two, depending on if you're running the 2K or 3K, pick it up and then start to use the speed training. And the first lap should feel it's going to feel great. You're going to feel like you have so much energy and it's an easy race. It will not feel that way by the third lap. So you want to make it feel more like a stride and not go out fast. I'll throw up a clip right here where I'm actually getting out too fast. I opened up in about a 66 first lap, and it threw off my pacing, and I ran terrible the rest of the race because I believed I was able to go out quickly and sustain it. So I would say make sure you really don't make sure you get out fast because it will ruin your entire race. And my last strategy for racing is never try to pass someone on a curve. I would say the best places to pass someone is on the steeple, on the straightaways, or on the water pit. That's a good place because a lot of people will slow down. You just want to make sure you're not stuck behind a big crowd ever, because then your chances of falling down and ruining your races are way higher, because if one person falls in front of you, then you're going to fall, or you're going to slow your pace down and it'll make your race not as good. All right, that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what else I should post, or if there's anything I missed, I'll answer them in the comment section.